In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, Christ is in our midst.
He is in our
It's been said by some of the saints that the human beings, falling human beings, have a God-shaped emptiness that they carry within them. That each one of us, whether it be psychologically or spiritually, have a sense that something is wrong and a desire to return to something safe, something peaceful, something more pure. And as Christians, we believe that this hole, this emptiness, this God-shaped emptiness, is directly tied to an ancient remembrance in the souls of each of us of the fall of Adam and Eve when they were exiled from the garden because of their disobedience and because of their choice to be self-willed rather than to be governed by the Holy Spirit. And what we do with this emptiness in the fallen world is multiform. You see, most of us, God is invisible. And after the exile, there's a sense of shame and alienation. So many of us try to fill these holes, this hole of emptiness, with various things to help us in some way bear the pain of shame or to bear the painful feelings of emptiness. Some of us have chosen the lusts of the flesh, such as anything that comforts us. We can think of all the various comforts that we take in our homes and how comfortable we want to live. Some of us have taken the comforts of the flesh and gone after various lusts. That's not distracting at all, John. Don't worry about it. Sorry for calling you out, though. Forgive me. Some of us have tried to fill ourselves with all sorts of things, and then there's other areas of our lives that, of course, that we do this. We have our intellect. How many of us know people who read endlessly to fill themselves, or feel like they have to be the smartest person in the room in order to feel okay? Some of us are social butterflies, so we spend a lot of time putting ourselves out there and chattering and constantly connecting, not only just to connect, but also to avoid any sense of loneliness or sense of emptiness that might be within us. Some of us are entertained endlessly, whether it be on the phone that we carry around with ourselves, with all the memes and with all the videos, or whether we're more classic nowadays and we're dealing with video games and television shows and series, which also now you can entirely binge for hours and hours and hours on end. So some of us are just about making money, about getting rich, about having enough of a status to be able to feel okay about ourselves compared to the brethren that we are surrounded with. And all of these things are in some ways that we seek safety, seek to avoid, and seek to fill somehow within us this hole of emptiness that is left by the absence of God. So we've come to a season of Great Lent, which starts tomorrow, and we'll have our service of forgiveness after the Divine Liturgy. But we come to a season where we're particularly asked to put away the distractions, to put away the things that comfort us, to put away the things that we put so much energy into and to experience in a raw sort of way the actual emptiness that we may carry within if we weren't to cover it with so many things. And this is actually, although oftentimes looked at as a negative thing, this is a positive opportunity for us. This is an opportunity for us to test ourselves and see what we really believe. To see and to become more clear about where we actually get our comfort. To become more knowledgeable about how we are when we're in situations where we're weak. Because when you're full of food and when you're full of entertainment, you feel strong, but deep down inside, you're actually very weak. So Great Lent is an opportunity in our fasting for us to actually encounter how we are and what we're made of. And furthermore, it's an opportunity for us to make a greater connection with Jesus Christ. Now, there are different tendencies for the Lenten fast, and I'm reminded of, and I want to remind you, that the Lenten fast that was upon us is a tool. It's a tool, and the tool means that it's something that's used to get us somewhere. That the goal of Lent is connection with God, connection with Jesus Christ. I believe, and I haven't read it recently, but it was Father Hopko who read the Arena, I think he said once a month, and he was recorded in one of his sermons, which I listened to, talking about how St. Ignatius Branchaninov was accusing his monks of worshiping cabbage. Because during the fasting seasons, all they ate was some sort of boiled cabbage. We have to be careful in this Lenten season to not be, it's not really about the food. The fasting part of it's necessary, but it's the food doesn't justify us. And the food actually doesn't condemn us. This is pretty much what St. Paul says in the epistle today. That it's, yes, fasting's important. So there is a part of it that's about food. But it's not really about the food. It's about your goal. We shouldn't necessarily be patting ourselves on the back because we were able to eat cabbage all Lent. Wonderful, great. But it doesn't mean much to the world or to anyone else unless we've grown in prayer. I think it was St. Moses the Black said that the devil fasts all the time and that the devil is very productive. So it's more than about being fasters. It's more than about trying to be productive. It's about actually making the goal in the center of our life to be full of Christ. This is the hardest thing, and it's the most confusing because we have rules and we have guidelines. And you may remember in Jesus' time, Jesus would tell the Pharisees, he'd say, essentially paraphrasing, you focus on the letter of the law, you focus on the rules, but you miss the point. And then, of course, he was the point.